Hi, I'm Steve Adams from Racing Index. Yesterday I received my copy of the Cheltenham Festival Betting Guide for this year's festival. It's now in its 22nd year, the Wetherbys Guide, and this year it's the third year it's been written by Paul Ferguson, who's also known for his jumpers to follow. Now, I've not had a chance to look through it much, but I will be doing so between now and the festival. It's full of key trends on each of the festival races, and it also includes guest authors with the big talking points from Matt Brocklebank, tips from Ben Linfoot, and banker or bust from Rory Delargy, where he gives his verdict on whether he feels some of the festival bankers are worth backing or if he feels they're likely to get beat. I've been getting the guide for the past 4 or 5 years, and I've always managed to pick a few winners from within its pages. Now, one thing that Paul's introduced since he's become the main writer is a section on spring horses to follow. These are a dozen horses that Paul's picked out in a jumpers to follow style, where he feels could be worth following this springtime. As I mentioned, it's Paul's third year of writing the guide, so I thought it would be good to look back at the previous 2 years to see which horses he's recommended previously and to see how if you'd have made a profit from backing them. I've gone through the results for them based upon their starting price and Betfair SPs, so in a moment I'll jump over to the computer and take a look at how they performed. But before I do that, if you're interested in buying a copy of the guide, there's still time to get it before the festival. I've scoured the internet and I've found a code that will save you £3 off the price, so make sure you stick around to the end of the video and I'll tell you what that is. Okay, let's go and have a look at those results. So 2019 was the first year when Paul introduced the spring horses to follow. Let me just explain the spreadsheet a little bit first. It should be quite self-explanatory. You've got the date column there, the horse, the course, number of runners in the race, where the horse finished, the starting price, the Betfair starting price. These are the profit and loss for the actual race on starting price, the ongoing profit and loss from starting price, and then likewise for the Betfair starting price for the particular race, and then the ongoing starting price. So there's one runner prior to Cheltenham, and that one won at a starting price of 2 to 1 on. Then there was 8 selections that you can see there at Cheltenham. It was quite a disappointing Cheltenham because none of them actually won. Then one runner there at Newcastle, and then at the Aintree meeting, again there wasn't any winners until we got down to If the Cap Fits on the last race. And that was a 7 to 1 winner, which returned at a decent 12.04 Betfair starting price, so about 11 to 1 starting price there. So at the end of the spring, there was minus 7.5 points at SP and minus 3.63 at Betfair starting price. So it wasn't actually that bad on Betfair starting price, considering there was no winners at Cheltenham and we only really got a winner on that last race. So that's all you would have had if you'd followed the horses just in the springtime. So then none of them ran again to the 16th of October, where you can see there was 2 runners at Wetherbys. So had you carried on backing them through the rest of 2019, let's just scroll up. You can see at the end here, let's just quickly put a little underline there. So carried on backing them at starting price, you would have made a loss of 9.21, nearly another 2 points lost there. And at Betfair starting price, you would have made a very slight additional loss. And had you carried on then into 2020, up until when the 2020 selections took over, up until the end of February, you would have made a couple of points back on starting price, and again a couple of points on Betfair SP, thanks to Clondor Castle winning at 11 to 2 and Santini winning at 13 to 8. So overall, at the end of that time, you would have made a slight loss. If you'd been able to beat Betfair starting price, then you could have pretty much broken even probably. I've just used the time form results to get the starting prices and the Betfair starting prices, so I haven't been able to look to see what they would have done if you'd taken best odds guaranteed. So given my experience where I've been looking at tipsters based on their best odds guarantee prices, it's likely that you'd be able to have beaten the Betfair SP, so you probably could have just about made a profit there. While I was looking at results, I thought I'd also carry on down to see what would happen if you carried on betting them after the new Cheltenham guide had come out. And if we carry on down there, you'll see that thanks to Clondor Castle and Brewing Up a Storm, which ran over the weekend, you would actually now be in profit based on Betfair SP. I don't think you probably would have carried on betting them all that long. Maybe you would, maybe you wouldn't. But if we look at Brewing Up a Storm was actually one of his horses to follow the following years as well. So if we have a now look at the 2020 results, now they were actually a lot better than the 2019. So again, there was a few runners at Cheltenham. Imperial Aurora and Shiskin both were winners at 4-1 and 6-1 respectively. So by the time you came to the end of Cheltenham, you would have been in profit of 5 points on SP and 8.75 based on Betfair SP. Let me just put a line under that knot. There was no more runners during the springtime after the Cheltenham Festival, so on their actual title of Spring Horses to Follow, they didn't actually do a lot. But then if you started backing them again in the autumn when the horses started running again, we scroll down to the end of the year, you've been 14.62 points profit up. Just underline those so we can see where we are. So 14.62 points on Betfair SP and 9.6 on starting price. And then if you continue down to the current date, those 12 horses would have been 34.47 points in profit based on Betfair SP and 26.42. So pretty impressive results. I think I've got these set up for all of them. Let me just check the formula. Down to 41, yes, we're down to 41. So a total of 39 runners, of which 17 of them have won their race. So that's a 43.6% strike rate. If the spring horses to follow in this year's guide are anywhere near as good as those from last year, then it's certainly going to be worth keeping on the right side of them. Now, it won't be fair for me to tell you what the 12 horses are for this year, but I did say at the start of the video, I'll tell you about a discount code if you want to buy the festival guide. The guide's produced in conjunction with the Sporting Life website. They've got a page promoting the guide on their website, and I'll leave a link for that in the description. If you go to that page, and we scroll down, use the code FESTIVAL21, and that will actually give you a discount of either the print version or the digital version of the guide. You can either follow the link there to order your copy, but I've got the page open in another browser window. It's at bettrendsshop.co.uk/Cheltenham. Again, I'll leave this in the description. And you can either buy the print version, the digital version, or you can get a bundle of both. So if you want to have the print version, but you also want to get it straight away, you can buy the two of them in a bundle. If I click on Add to Cart, and proceed to checkout, click on Coupon or Gift Certificate, and type in Festival21, and then click on Apply. You see then it's deducted the £4, bringing the price down to £11.95. I've entered the 12 horses into a horse racing tracker, and I'll be keeping an eye on them throughout the year. If you'd like to see when I do updates, make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. That way it encourages me to do more reviews for both the spring horses to follow and other tipsters that I've been monitoring since the start of the year, and you'll get notified when I upload future videos.